Okay, in this video we're going to pull in a bunch of economic data and just kind of walk through it. So we're going to walk through the numbers that were released last week for the month of June 2021. If you haven't already, go through and watch the first few videos in this series. That's going to tell you how to pull this data from the FRED database and then how to plot it and look at it. And so today I've already pulled it in. I've already kind of formatted it the way that we need it. And I really just want to walk through some of these numbers and give everyone an update on what's going on in the economy in the US. Let's start with unemployment. So our current unemployment rate is sitting at 5.9%. Those were the numbers for June. And I've represented that here with a red dashed line. So that's where we currently are. And you can see pre-pandemic, you have to go back to about 2014, September of 2014 specifically, until you see those kinds of numbers. So we had this really nice downtrend following the crash in 08. We had this nice downtrend, and then the pandemic hit, and the maximum that we hit during the pandemic was 14.8%, and that was in April of 2020, obviously last year. So right after the pandemic hit, economy shut down, a bunch of people were unemployed, and we're still hovering at around 6%. So that's not great. We've got a lot of unemployment benefits still running, and at least anecdotally, I see job available signs everywhere around me. So we need to get people back to work for sure. Now let's jump into CPI. And so here is CPI. CPI is the Consumer Price Index, and this is total CPI. And what I've done here is I've plotted actual CPI since the year 2000, since January of 2000. That's the green line. And then the gray line is the 2% goal of the Fed. And so if you look at the year 2000 and going forward from that, you just have consistent 2% increases year over year. That is what CPI should look like. That's the gray line. And the green line obviously is over that consistently, meaning that we are consistently over the Fed's target. All right, let's jump into some month over month changes. So our current month over month increase, so the increase from May to June was just under 1%. It was 0.9%. And here's our month over month. And I've got the red dashed line at 0.9%, which was what was reported in June. That's the highest month over month change since June of 2008. Okay, so that's our month over month. Year over year, this is probably the one that you've heard the most. Year over year, CPI is sitting at 5.3%, and that's the highest year over year change since August of 2008. All right, so again, going back pre-pandemic, we're going back basically to the last time our economy crashed to see these kinds of numbers. And consumer price index is commonly used as a measure of inflation in our economy, and it's widely considered an underestimate of true inflation. So again, not good stuff. CPI is composed of a lot of different consumer goods. We can go down into individual products or services and figure out which ones of those are increasing too. So I've done that for two, but you can do this for a lot of others. But for right now, we're going to go into gasoline. So here's the consumer price index for gasoline over time, and then our current month over month change, so from May to June, was 2.5%. That's not too crazy if you look back through history, but the year over year increase is insane. So June 2021 compared to June 2020, the increase was 45%. And that's what that looks like, right? So you've got to go back to 2010 to see those kinds of year over year changes. So again, all of this is indicating that our economy is not in great shape right now. High unemployment, high inflation. The last thing that I'll cover in this video is CPI for transportation. That was another one that had a huge year-over-year increase. This is the time series data for it, and you can already tell that it's high, right? This is just the index itself. If we look at month-over-month changes, from May to June of this year, it increased by 3.6%. And that's what that looks like there. You see you've got to go back again to 2008, 2009 to see those kinds of month-over-month changes. And then year-over-year, we were sitting at 21.25%. So from June 2020 to June 2021, the CPI for gasoline went up by 21.2%. And that's the highest year-over-year increase in recent history, at least going back to the year 2000 by a long shot. All right, so high unemployment, high total inflation, high inflation in things like transportation, gasoline, used vehicles, housing, all of that. High inflation. This is in part due to poor financial policy coming out of the Fed. They're printing money, they're making money widely available, and it's not good stuff for the long-term health of our economy. So let's hope that things start to turn around. But that'll do it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned how to pull in this data and work with it a bit. And we'll see you next month when they release the next set of data.